Can you press the button on your mic, please? Thank you.
Go on the mic, yeah? That's the first mistake. Good morning, members. This is the first meeting of the Area Committee. For some, it's a follow-on for the last council. For Ben, it's your first, so welcome. Don't be frightened to ask questions, Ben. Sometimes the daft lassie questions, the ones that get to the hub or the issue, just ask the questions you need to ask. We've got some present in the room: Katie, Hagman, Davy, Ingalls, Ben Dashburn, myself, and then we've got a number on Teams, is it? You're going to do that, Claire? Good. So, we are doing both. So I give approval to go on a virtual and personal meeting. And again, the good practice guide: when you're not speaking, could you mute your mic and turn off your video recorder? And Mark, speak on the chat if you wish to come in and speak on any issue. Claire, have we got everybody? Have you got the Sedrant? See, Andrew just joined there. Okay,
thank you, Chair. We've currently got 7 members present. As you say, there's 4 members present here at Wigton, being yourself, Vice Chair, Councillors Ingalls and Dashper. On Teams, we've got Councillors Giusti, Hill and McCammon. Councillor Whitelaw is currently not present.
Okay, we've also got, if you look at the Sedrant, we've got 2 youth council members. We still to hear who their representatives are, and I believe that they're alternating their representatives, so hopefully we'll get 1 or 2 of those along to our meetings. Can we move then on to item 2, which is the declaration of interests? Katie?
Thank you, Chair. Yes, it's on the outside body appointments. In terms of the final one on there, Wigtonshire Women's Aid, as Chair of the organisation, I will remove myself from the decision on who's being appointed to that one. Thank you.
Can we move on to item 3? Can I just remind that we are on our usual standing orders? That would have.
Councillor McCammon would like to speak.
Jackie?
Yeah, sorry, Chair, and well done your appointment to Chair. Just to say that my circumstances have changed. I would love to have been there today, but I'm going to have to leave probably about 11 o'clock, so it's just to make you aware of that.
Thanks, Jackie. Again, anyone that has to leave, then if they just put on the chat. I think that's the normal procedure. Can we now move on to item 3? And you've got a report here, delegation to Wigton Area Committee with its remits as laid out in the report. Basically, it's there for your reading. Any questions on item 3? Jackie, I'm having difficulty here. You want to come in? You want to come in on this item?
No, sorry, I think that's posted. There must have been a delay because I put it twice the first time. Sorry.
If there are no questions, can we move to the recommendations when we're asked to note the remit of the Wigton Area Committee as detailed in 3.2? Are we agreed? Agreed? Thank you.
Microphone, please.
I think I'll keep that on all the time. Item 4, which is the arrangements for the administration of Stranraer, Wigton and Whithorn Common Good Funds. Again, we've got 3 in actual fact, separate common good funds, one in Stranraer, one in Wigton and one in Whithorn. You have the report before you. You want me to take you through this? Recommendations one by one? And then the rest will follow. So, recommendation 2.1, to consider whether to administer the Stranraer Common Good issue via Wigton Area Committee or whether to establish and delegate to a Stranraer Common Good subcommittee. Members?
Yeah, I think we should just follow what we did last year. I think a delegation to a subcommittee is a good way to go, Chair, and it doesn't take a great deal of time, does it, prior to meetings? So, yeah.
Everybody happy with that one? Agreed with that one? To go on a subcommittee? No dissenting voices? We'll move on to 2.2. Subject to the decision of 2.1, which we've already agreed just now, to incorporate the administration of all Stranraer Common Good business, which includes the Henry MacDonald Fund, which is again a separate bequeath that has been brought together with the Common Good Fund, to a Stranraer Common Good subcommittee as detailed in 3.5. So you've got there in 3.5, is that agreed? Agreed? 2.3, subject to the decision of 2.1, agree the appointment of elected members to a Stranraer Common Good subcommittee as detailed in 3.11. Normally it's the 4 local members, Ward 1, if that could be agreed, if you want to continue with that as the subcommittee. For the Stranraer Common Good subcommittee?
Chair, I'm certainly happy, but I didn't want to force people into positions.
I'm happy to move that as the recommendation. It would be the 4 members, and we can move on. Right. 2.5. No, 2.4. Subject to the decision again of 2.1, agree to invite community representatives onto the Stranraer Common Good subcommittee as detailed in 3.14. Before it was 2 ad hoc by name. Then one couldn't attend for passed away, and we invited Stranraer Community Council to send along a rep. I don't think there was ever a time when they did send someone they nominated but didn't send. Can I maybe suggest that we look at this in terms of still offering Stranraer Community Council, but offer it up to third sector as 2 separate bodies, and we have 2 representatives then. And we can put that to third sector, Dumfries and Galloway, for them to nominate someone appropriate, local, and offer it up to Stranraer Community Council to see if they'll accept.
Yep.
Is that okay?
Okay. Councillor Glashburn.
We move on to 2.5 to consider whether to administer the Wigton and Whithorn Common Good issue via Wigton Area Committee, or whether to establish a delegate to a Whithorn and Wigton Common Good subcommittee. Again, 2.1, just follow on. 2 points. Has everybody agreed to that? Good. 2.6, subject to the decision of 2.5, agree to incorporate the administration of all Whithorn and Wigton Common Good business to the Whithorn and Wigton Common Good subcommittee as detailed in 3.17.
Yep. Agreed, Chair.
Agreed? 2.7, subject to the decision of 2.5, agree the appointment of elected members to a Whithorn and Wigton Common Good subcommittee as detailed in paragraph 3.23, which again is similar to the Stranraer Common Good. Members? Is that agreed?
Chair, I'm happy to agree that.
Right.
Thanks.
Everyone else? Good. 2.7, subject to the decision of 2.5, agree the appointment of elected members to a Whithorn and Wigton Common Good Subcommittee as detailed in paragraph 3.23.
Yeah, Chair, I think we
Just done, my apologies. 2.8, subject to the decision at 2.5, agree to invite community representatives onto the Whithorn and Wigton Common Good Subcommittee as detailed in section 3.25.
agreed.
Chair, can I just ask on that one?
Yep.
Because we've drawn from two distinct community councils, they obviously have, it's got in the report here that there would be non-voting members. But sometimes there's been confusion where the Whithorn representative has been not sure whether they are allowed to take part in discussion on the Wigton part of the common good and vice versa. So can we just get that clarified for the community that they would be able to speak on both parts? Because it's two distinct community councils that send representatives to the common good.
If you're moving that, Katie, it's really what the subcommittee want to do, whether they want to say that you cannot speak on the others' common good. It's really, I'm in your hands on that one, rather than it being a governance issue. It's how you want to administer the scheme and the procedure you want to follow.
I think there was a wee bit of confusion, wasn't there, at meetings? So, you're probably correct, Chair. We could decide that at the meetings. Yeah.
If you want to decide it today, it could be put in the minute that's then made clear that a representative from Whithorn can only speak on their common good fund, and vice versa, someone from Wigton would only speak on the Wigtown common good fund. It's really, if you want that to be minute, if somebody wants to move, if that's the way you want to conduct it.
I think, Chair, if we can maybe put that on the agenda, we'll discuss it at the first meeting. We don't need to minute, I think, at this point. Thank you.
Is that agreed by everyone?
Yep.
Okay. Item 4. Nu har jag hur Tommy felt. Item 5, Wigton Area Committee appointment to outside bodies. I would hope that we're able to deal with this either by people volunteering for each of the positions, or we try and come to some consensus. Failing which, if it comes to a vote and there is a tied vote, then it will be by lot as per the Constitution 3.3. So, do we want to take them one at a time and then see where we go? Everybody else happy to take them one at a time? Let me see where the numbers are. They at the recommendations, you know. Yeah. So 2.1, to appoint 2 elected members to Macker's Action Limited as detailed in paragraph 4.1. 2 volunteers.
Chair, I sat on Macker's Action last time, but I would be quite happy if somebody else wished to take up that position. Obviously, we've got 3 ward members, but if anybody else would like to take that up, just in terms of time and capacity.
I think it would be preferable if it was Macker's Action from Ward 2. Is there 2 volunteers, 2 people prepared to come forward?
Not me, Chair.
Jackie?
When I'm having children's issues at the moment. No, not for me, not that one, thanks.
There's only leaving one in the Mackers. He's not here. He's not here. I don't think it would be fair to put him on without his consent. Do we want to keep this one open and take it over? Ben, it doesn't mean to be that it's in Ward 2.
I think it would be best served by someone from Ward 2, so yeah, not me, thanks.
I don't know if Andrew Justice is on. Andrew? I think we'll carry this one forward then as not filled at this stage and come back. 2.2, appoint one elected member to Newton Stewart Museum Trust as detailed in paragraph 4.2. Davy?
Yeah, Chair, I've specifically been asked if I would take this up by the museum, and I'm happy to put myself forward for that if that's...
Good. Everybody happy with David, or is there another nomination?
Happy to support that.
Is that agreed? 2.3, to appoint one elected member to the Coronation Day Centre Limited as detailed in paragraph 4.3. Volunteers?
I'm happy to do that. Yeah.
Ben?
Thanks.
Any other nomination? Happy to accept that? And then move on to 2.4, to appoint one elected member to Wigton Bay Nature Reserve Management Committee as detailed in paragraph 4.4. Volunteers? Or volunteer?
Not me, Chair.
Chair,
Katie.
can I ask, I know that the Wigton Bay Natural Reserve Management Board was going through some governance resettlement, possibly. I'm not quite sure what the wording is on that one, but is the board now established and are all insurances in place for any member that wants to be sitting on that? Just because it's a question that I've asked with other organisations, is do they have trustee indemnity insurance? As we as elected members, are we essentially covered by insurance to sit on these outside bodies?
Has anybody looked into that and able to answer that, or is it something that we need to come back on?
Chair, I can provide the assurance that all these outside bodies were reviewed as part of the outside bodies review at the end of the last council, so that will have been the type of issue that will have been picked up on, but I haven't obviously got that information in front of me at this current time.
Your specific question is about insurance and indemnity.
Yes.
Do you want that to be come back to the next meeting for that to be checked? Because I don't think anyone's able to give you that answer here today.
No, it's fine, Chair. I mean, if no other member is able to go on that, do we know how often they meet in terms of a commitment for members to sit on?
I don't even think that information is before us today, unless some of the local members are able to tell us from past experience just how often this organisation meets. Is anyone able to answer that?
Sorry, Chair. I've never been involved in that one, so I don't know. Yeah.
Do we want to hang this over until we get those questions? One on insurance and indemnity, and two on the frequency of meetings. We hung that one over. Okay. Sorry? Melinda, can you answer these?
Well, just want to make sure, are you talking about the Wigton Bay Local Nature Reserve Management Committee? I'm obviously not been in the post very long, but I did attend a meeting of them last week with Anna Johnson from the council, where they're looking at developing a constitution, becoming a SCIO. I'm not sure if that's one in the same body, and if it is, that one hasn't met since 2019, and only when it was meeting met once or twice a year, so it wasn't a big commitment. And I'm assuming this is the group that looks after, it's run by the Macca's Action, and has the sort of the wildfowling and deals with the licenses and things for that. If that's one in the same body, I can certainly assure you that it's only meets maybe once or twice a year.
Melinda, if you're able to come back and clarify the two questions that are asked, the frequency, and I think you've given part answer to that, and the other one is insurance and indemnity. If you can look at both those and then come back to the committee, and then, if need be, we'll fill that position then. Okay?
Thank you.
Can we move on to Jackie?
Sorry, Chair. Yeah, it was just a comment more than a question on item 5. I don't know who can answer it, but I just wondered, you know, to allow members to make decisions on if they want to sit in it or not, there's no information to say how often they do sit. So that's what I've struggled with, because, you know, like everybody, my time's precious. So unless I know how often they sit, I can't commit to anything, I'm afraid.
I think your point's been taken, Jackie, and you know, it's maybe crazy to say for future, for the next 5 years. Well, maybe, you know, but if we take note of what you're saying, Jackie, then I'm sure the officer will take that away. Is that okay? Can we move then on to item 2.5, and that's the appointment of Wigtown Area Committee members to the Wigtown Educational Trust as detailed in 4.5. This is one where all members have sat on the Wigtown Educational Trust. If members are agreed to that, could agree to that?
I think so, Chair, yeah.
Yeah.
Right. No dissenting voices. 2.6, to appoint one elected member to the Wigtownshire Sports Council as detailed in paragraph 4.6. Volunteer?
Not me, Chair, I'm afraid.
Again, I don't know how often it meets. Is there a volunteer? Is there anyone in the Teams meeting wanting to volunteer? Ben? Nobody. Sorry, Ben, I wasn't just picking you out there. If there's nobody else, I'll put my name down for that one. Is that agreed? Okay, move on to 2.7. To appoint...
Chair, I'll excuse myself on this one. Thank you.
Sorry, Katie. 2.7, to appoint one elected member to the Wigtownshire Women's Aid as detailed in paragraph 4.7. Before the meeting, Katie did say that she sits on this board in her own right. So she does. So therefore, there's still a position available for the council to fill under the appointment of the one rep to the Wigtownshire Women's Aid. Jackie?
Yeah, this is one I was keen to sit on, Chair, but I don't know how often it sits. Can Melinda maybe advise, or someone, or Kate, well, Katie's gone, someone advise how often it sits, please?
Anybody able to say?
Sorry, I don't mean to be a pain.
I think someone's just away to check with Katie that maybe can advise the committee. Once a quarter, Jackie. Put your name down.
Yes, please.
Good. Any other volunteer? No? Are we agreed on that one? Good. And that concludes item 5. I have no other business. Can I thank you for your attendance? David, you're going away and finish your breakfast now.
Thank you, Chair, and I will.
Thanks, Chair. Well done.
Thank you.